while we're going. Yeah. Dashboard says we're up. So, wish I'd have made some more coffee. But water's also pretty great. Yeah, man. Bare knuckles. That's one reason. And he was having trouble with the wired correct. But yeah, man. Just getting into that. I've had the pickup on my desk and cases over it. I've got things that are old and I'm in trouble for, but this I could just get done real quick, get out of the way. Hey, yeah, man, thanks for coming on by. I just, yeah, Warmoth thing, you get it. This poor guy had wired this all messed up, and he was having so much noise trouble. He tried shielding here, but I won't hit that out. I will just ground it so that it for sure shields the sides. It doesn't need it underneath because it's got the metal base plate, but well, I'm not going to undo what he did. Yeah, I'm supposed to be a couple times a day. Supposed to be doing this stuff, and like I was saying a minute ago, this pickup was on the desk and it's in the way, and that case is on that. I need to get this just out of the way real quick, and then get on with the old stuff. Oh goodness, yeah. Just doing things, and I am just literally just getting my string going, and let me do a couple of things. Make sure that if anybody's in the Discord, my buddy Necro might be asleep already, but yeah, my Luther's Uprising, I need to send you that invite too, so you know about those guys. That's who B-Bum's with, and Orbiter Guitars and all that whenever they come in and raid. A lot of times they're coming, they use that Discord just as a networking. It definitely, your Morphs in Life should have a Discord. That way you have basically your own social network and its own set of notifications that will go out to your people. And people can mute them or whatever, but it gets them an up-to-date without having to rely on Facebook, to not having to pay them for boosts and all this stuff. Yeah, it just allows you to have a little bit closer contact with your network. It's more work and it's more thing to do, but at least it's connected. And it's free, which means you're basically we're on sale. So you have to be careful how much. You don't want to use a lot of sensitive data or anything in it, because it's, the data will go off to China and whoever highest bidder, but it is at least controlled by you and accessible. It's kind of nice. Oh, let's see if Mr. Necro is awake. I am gonna have to go close Discord, go to the top, go to personal messages. I don't know if he's going to sleep yet, but I'm gonna say live again. He probably gets it, kind of like you got Twitch notification. He may just get that, it's enough. But a lot of times he'll help me, and he'll go post my stuff in everybody's Discord. Say, hey, John's live. Hey, John's live. So it's a good friend to have. It's a good idea to at least do that. In here, awesome. Yeah, man. Excellent. Yeah, so whether it be Ann or T, very happy to have you. I kind of got a jump start here. I'm gonna go would tinkle. But just a minute. And plus, you know, you get your cool logo, cool guitar. Kind of cool. Where's the music? Yeah, my audio is just above. I could probably turn the music down a little bit based on I was listening to the video on demand from yesterday. I better slide it down a little bit. Yeah. Cool. All right, back in a second. Okey doke. Yeah, man. Oh, hey there. Good to see you. Rockman Drums, awesome. Everybody should check out Rockman Drums. Rockman Drums, oh yeah. Let's see if we can get this working. Man, you got your Rockman Drums you need to go check out. Anybody comes in, they ought to be checking that out. And I say you check out my buddies at Morgan's Life because they're good health coaches. Yeah, man. Cool to check out. And Taylor is a good guitar player. Let me get my screen sorted out here. Yeah, we'll go to the big camera. How you been, man? Did you see my message? I can look back and make sure that I get it right. What brother was thinking of getting an electric guitar. Yes, get back. Thank you for reminding me. Get back in the electric guitar, messing around with recording and looping. Yeah. What's a good guitar for about $400? I can really justify spending. Can't really justify spending more. I get you. I feel you totally. Golly, I have been, depending on the style of music, more the tone you're going for and the feel you're going for. Man, the Squiers, the freaking Squiers, man. Especially if you go with like a classic vibe or something. Yeah, scroll back and check it out. Man, the value's amazing. It may even if the playability isn't perfect, and it just take it to some reputable, okay guitar tech, and they can file the nut slots and just kind of get everything where it ought to be. Pickups sound great, electronics sound pretty great, infinitely modifiable depending on what you want to do. Yeah, but I would say the classic vibe Squiers and are a really great classic guitar. What sort of oh yeah, in the ear, the Erts are pretty nice. They're pretty well made. Fretwork's been pretty darn good on those things, man. And I mean the little bit nicer ones with the end of the frets are hot dogged, and they actually dress the frets and put them in individually, like they pre-dress the ends and press them in. Yeah, they are really nice, pretty good. And they're doing stainless frets, so you can just play with a capo and won't ever wear the frets out. Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. See what model. Easiest to do on my phone, because it's just a little searchy device. Hey, there's B-Bomb coming in. Excellent, excellent. Happy to have you guys. We were talking about a cool guitar. Let's see. And I'll put the number in. It's a T380. That way we can get a look at that. Ah, yeah, Tele one. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty great, actually. They even have them on through Amazon. Yeah, you see, I mean, that's a lot like what I play with my Tele. Man, good to see you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming by. Checking out what we got going on. There ain't gonna be anything too heavy duty, but this poor guy was having trouble. I don't think he had this bare knuckles wired right. Like I don't even think the chassis shield was socket. I think there was a couple wires that he gets. Yeah, it was just noise. That's why he has the shielding under the pickup itself, trying to get it to quiet down. But we'll get it figured out. But yeah, man, that ear 380 T380, that's pretty cool because it's got the blade switch, kind of like I play on my Tele with the two humbuckers. Man, it probably comes wired cool, but I could with a 5-way strat switch. You can do what I call my humbucker World Series with the coil tapping type stuff. Well, and it's all series whenever it's in one setting, and it just selects random coils, and it's a lot of sound. Works really well. Pretty simple, actually. Yeah, that's cool. What's it going right on these? Yeah, 4. Man, that's a lot of guitar for 400, man. It's probably got a pretty good vibrato on it. Looks like it's got I don't know if it's an actual Goto, but I'm sure it's like Wilkinson quality. Let me hit C more and see what they say. Actually, C more, not C more. Yeah, and it comes with stainless frets. So even if they weren't perfectly level, there's enough quality there that you could get it. But from what I've heard, they're pretty amazing. Yeah, man, that's quite a deal. I can't say anything bad about that. I think you'd be pretty stoked on it. Good move, man. Good move. Not a bad way to go. Yeah, I mean, for that, well, that you're getting this day and age with the way the economy is. You're getting more than your money's worth compared to everything else. That's like kind of crazy good, actually. Man, let me shout out my friend B-Bum for anybody that doesn't know Rockman. You need to please do follow, and I'm gonna get you into yeah, man, definitely check out B-Bum's Mark Hurd Guitars. Really cool stream. I always call him a guitar's best friend because he brings lots of old guitars back to life, builds really nice guitars. Yeah, it's greatness. What else we got going on? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you'll love. I know you from your stream. You'll love that. You'll love it. Nothing but good to be had there. Nothing but good. Oh yeah. Check back in here. Making sure I'm checking on my goings on here. Yeah. Also, another one to follow if you're still there is Orbital Guitars. There you go. There's another one you really enjoy, and it sort of links all of us together. You'll be able to find the Luther Uprising Discord through there, which I honestly I could do that while I'm just sending stuff off here. Yeah, you can join the Discord there. All right, let's talk about guitars. I was curious. I was wondering what's going on with the electronics in this thing. I want to see under the hood, so to speak. Just get a look at what's hiding in here. Supposedly this he had this plec, so I mean it should be pretty darn level. Warmoths are notorious for not having any fall on the solo end of the frets, and a little unlevel. Usually pretty good. They're definitely pressed in good with a little glue, and yeah, big bum. Have to go. Yes, sir. You've been streaming and getting a lot done. Like I said, you're an inspiration. Absolutely, like, just excited. It's one reason I want to stream. Man, look at Mark go! Woo! That's just one makes me want to do something. Yeah, man, he's desperate. You can tell the poor man's desperate to get the noise down. That pickup wasn't wired right. Yeah, absolute, man, absolute. Looks to me. Let's get our beacon of blindness going here. I will straighten that out though. We'll get that down and flood the exposure. Let's all get a look at it. See what we got going on there. This looks like I'm not 100% sure, but I think he put on one of the Seymour Duncan pots, which is most likely a 500K audio taper. Could use a treble bleed and everything just to be able to get all the software shielding is important. Yeah, man, gotta have it. Gots to has it. This looks like a NASA photo. It's like, oh, the copper and stuff. Man, they had to insulate stuff as much as they could in space because the amount of radiation and just wild energy out there trying to fry circuits. Goodness. I can see all kinds of wildness going on here. Yeah, man. I may salvage this pot, but I'm definitely going to undo it and clean it up. Yeah, you can imagine. I don't even know how anyone survives in space, even in one of those suits. Insanity. Yeah, so this is DiMarzio right here in the neck, which yep, red is hot and white and black are together, which joins the two coils in series. Yep, green is usually ground, and I do see the plate ground, or the kind of like chassis ground as we call it. There's a fair amount of randomness here, though. Yeah, cut-offs of old wires, just trying to, making multiple attempts to try and get this sorted out. Yeah, we'll get him fixed up, man. We'll get him going. He's got everything he needs here. Is shielding paint good? It depends on the brand and how good it is. I've been using Easy off of Amazon, Easy Slide graphite farm coating, because you can get a whole gallon thing for $50, whereas like one of those little pint cans costs $50 from StuMac. They're both equal quality. Even if it dries up and I can't use it, it's like I spent the same money for it and I got way more of it, and it works really good. I'll sometimes paint it around instead of shielding in front, like it was with the copper, I'll paint it around it, but sometimes I'll paint it around the sides of this. Since this is already black, I'll I won't get up into the top of the bobbin or whatever, but I'll paint it around here and make sure that it's folds around and touches the chassis ground. Oh man, you talk about quieting up, and it does not affect the tone really, especially if it's not in the front of the pickup and the front magnetic field. Yeah, it doesn't really affect behavior of the pickup at all. But man, is it way more quiet, because all that stuff, all the RF radio frequency and EMF coming in the sides just kind of cuts it down. Yeah, it really helps quiet it down. It's pretty good on its own, but it's just that little bit more if you do happen to be playing with higher gain stuff and you just want to be more quiet when you let go of the strings. This shielding around all this will not change the tone at all, but when you let go of the strings, it won't increase in noise, especially with LED lights like this. Oh my, throws all kinds of stuff. Like whenever I get my pickup, there's one. Yeah, well, thanks for hanging in there, Jake. Good to see you. Jake's got a pretty entertaining. He works on some guitars too, and he plays a lot of really interesting games. Let's get since he's up in here, let me get my mouse in the right place. And I will generate a quick you were refreshing there, so I had to actually put some letters of your name. Yeah, man, go check out Jake's stream. They'll be singing, he'll be playing, working on stuff, all kinds of good stuff, man. Nothing but fun, man. Nothing but good and fun. This is my friend. We're in this whole shout out thing. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys like this music, this is my friend KC's. It's copyright free, excellent stuff. So yeah, go check it out. I always play it on YouTube. Like the song title up there is a zoom at the bottom of the screen of YouTube Music. It's kind of zoomed into as the song title changes. But yeah, he seems to get better. All these copyright-free music creators get better revenue off of YouTube Music than anything else. So I always play them on YouTube Music. Like when I'm done with the stream, I'll have it muted. I'll just let it go all day. Because he does so much for me, man. The man gave me this gaming computer, his old gaming computer. He helped set up OBS for me. He did that logo, transparent logo. Like whenever I changed to the ones with the yellow, he did all that. Yeah, he did all this stuff. I mean, I put it in place, but yeah, that's him. Thanks, man. Yeah, you can see this. I have to flood this camera with light to get the exposure. But when I do, it's like it actually turns into an okay shot. Even your clips get muted sometimes. Oh, I know, because yeah, I've had that too. I've been playing what is labeled copyright free. Like I'll be playing over backing tracks, and there'll be like one little thing that the bot thinks it recognizes, and it'll mute like 30 seconds, sometimes 5 or 10 minutes of a section of one of my VODs. I'm like, I don't know what it thinks it hears. Music is all made up of the same recipes. I don't know how you're supposed to even copyright some of that stuff, which is what a lot of the current legal cases are about. It's like you can't copyright chord progression, like the same chords. You can't copyright notes. It's insane. You know, you have, but I'm glad they're hanging in there and doing that, and winning those cases. Yeah, right? I mean, I'm just glad they're putting in the work. I'm glad that Ed Sheeran, he's been wildly successful, but that's because he works hard and he's talented. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, he got everything, lucky. No, they're not lucky. He worked his butt off, and he's talented. The man perform live and loop with that little guitar. It's just like, the man just puts on a little personal symphony with that thing. Oh, and of course we watch the streamers. There's lots of tremendously talented people on here. It's such an honor to run into all these people. Yeah, petty theft. Yeah, well, Don Henley is the worst. Like, just tries to, like, oh, you thought about my music, I'm gonna sue you. I'm like, damn, Don, how much of the pie do you need, you know? Man, Joe Walsh is quite a sport. He stuck with that whole thing to the point where he was kind of grandfathered in eventually. Like, early on, Don Felder just got posed in the deal. I mean, he's doing like at least a third of the writing and all that. No songwriting, no points, nothing. Just a paid studio musician, and thank you, see you later. Millions of dollars. I mean, this stuff still gets played like crazy, man. I mean, the point system on all that is just goofy anyway. The ones that get me are the ones that go in and remove chord charts people like online, right? I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to pay us for your ears working whenever you listen to my magic notes. Like, no, man, it's like, oh, somebody went back in time and showed some medieval minstrels my chord progression. No, all that stuff is bigger than you, comes way before you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's art. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's all supposed to be free, but something's only worth how much you value it, and we'll pay for it. But yeah, it's pretty messed up. Still gonna learn this song. I just want to be a little lazy. Yeah, man. Can I get what key's this thing in? Where am I starting off here? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's got a flat 7 in it. That's cool. Gotcha. Hey, there's that. There's another game streamer you guys can check out. Good times. I've got. Oh, I have to turn on my text field. I'm typing into the void here and nothing's happening. Yeah, there's that. Guys can check out the upstream. Always playing something fun. Looking at guitars. Looking at guitars. Belly aching about stingy ass people and their music. Yeah, Don Henley's the man. He takes the cake, dude. Takes the cake. Alright. I am going. Let's just turn on solder and just start smoking some stuff. Smoke them. I'm smoking them. Make sure the tip's tightened up on this thing. Yes, sir. Let's get a look at how the. Ooh, I can tell that's gonna need a lock washer in there, or put it in a better place because it's kind of twisting around. Yeah, it does have a lock washer. Alright, here, let's use our little grabby poos. It's the Zepster! Zepping it up in the Zeppy town. Yeah, man, Star Washer. Yeah, it's got the double positive prongs, double grounds in there, and double positives. You're not gonna lose contact with that, dude. That's probably fine, and that's definitely a nice lead wire. That's when you get it loose and double check. I always, let me turn you guys around. What are we looking at? Yeah, I always do a barrel of shielding around this too. Makes a difference. The open prongs of those are as bad as the uncovered coils with the pickup, the runs of wire. Those little prongs are noise magnets, dude. This is the last vestige of things that don't get shielded in the industry. It makes a big difference. It's taken me years to figure out why are some guitars so darn quiet and some are just awful. A lot of it was they were shielding around stuff like this in addition to the normal shielding. It's just such a huge difference. Alright. Oh yeah, this is actual pickup lead. You can see the, well, you can't see shit 'cause it's out of focus, but anyway, you can see some of the red wire in there and all that. Yeah, this is a 4-conductor chunk of it. This pickup must have had like a long pickup lead on it. I guess when you're an individual trying to do a parts build and you don't have a bunch of extra spools of wire, you're just like, man, I need me some good wire. Do you think the Pure-Tone jacks are more prone to picking up interference? It's not. No, it's all touching the same basic positive area. I'm just saying prongs, like whether it's a regular switchcraft jack, that one coming up and over, that baby, if it's not shielded around it, that's just one great big positive, like, thing like hanging out, picking up noise. It just does. Like when you let go of the guitar, all that, that's things like that aren't shielded around. The flat contacts on a switch. It's usually up in the upper bout. It's usually up here in a lot of guitars and all that. So often that's just wood. There's nothing around it. All the flat prongs of that are just, they're just picking up the noise like these cameras make, and definitely these lights make, and there's jillions of these at a venue, and then you have the bigger, louder 60 cycle hum that's coming off of the power transformers and all that stuff. It's just a collective. It's a collective of noise. Not all of it's the same amounts, and some noise you can't get away, because if you have ripple in your actual signal chain, that's getting picked up and then amplified. You have to deal with that separately, of course. But man, as long as you can start clean, like as long as you're not just killing your actual tone, getting from your string to your pickup, from your pickups to your pots, to your jack, to your cable, to your input of whatever you're running first in your chain. As long as you can get all that clean and straight to it, and at least has a shroud around it. I mean, the amount of the noise difference is like insane. It's like, why are you not wanting to cut that off? Because it's not changing your tone. It's just pure noise. Like, and then you amplify that if you didn't shield it. So it's like, no, I toy around with shielding around the pickups and shielding around strap pick. That changes the sound. I've argued like, oh, it doesn't change it. Yeah, it does. It does. It changes it a lot. But for one reason, with strap pickups and tele pickups and many of the single coils, there's a chaotic harmony between the noise, the high buzz 60 cycle hum, and just not everything's the same cycles of frequencies of noise, but there's something that happens with that noise in the notes that you played. There's a chaotic harmony that happens. It's I don't know, it's kind of like when you're hanging out in a noisy room. There's just an energy to that. It just changes how you perceive speech, how you perceive music, same thing with your pickup and all that. It just perceives that there's enough chaos and harmony that it sort of boosts certain frequencies, and I don't know, it just ends up amplifying a much more complex array of sound, and it definitely has more highs, because there's a bit of a battle between the fundamental note and those things, and it adds a lot of hair to the sound. It adds a lot of has a lot of presence to it, and there's a certain amount of that's the energy of your sound. It is part of Hendrix tone, that noise. Like I always say, players like Philip Sayce, I'm not gonna go tell it, oh, I could shield your pickups and it'll be so much quiet. That noise and traditional sound that he gets, that just noise blues, like what? I mean, just powerful. The noise is part of the sound. You're not supposed to take it away. Now, the stuff around the electronics, like the things that whenever you're letting go and it gets way noisier, that stuff can be shielded and not affect the tone at all, unless that letting go of and having it turning into a noise cacophony is part of your sound. Then then I guess you'd leave it alone. And there's something to be said for all of that. Everybody's got their own thing, but that's why I harp on it. It's just, it can be fixed. It can be fixed. Makes a difference. Turn my in the IRL noise music monitor desktop audio down over here. It's not hitting the mic as much. Yeah, I can tell music's way below me now. How is the music compared to me talking? I'm using the C920 mic again. It's convenient because I don't have to wear anything. I actually turned the compression off in OBS and just using the limiter. Just keep the level up. Basically just using level to hit it, and then putting a lid on the top of it. Alright, oh yeah, I turned Mr. Soldering Iron on. Let me give... oh yeah, I finally got that Padula, it's alright, could do with a pinch less music. Okay, cool, thank you. That's good. That's what I like to hear. I like to... Did that make a difference? Ta-da-ta-ta, me compared to music, me compared to music. So, excellent. Let's see, I've got that around, so where I've got the levels now, the music's hitting around minus 40 dB. That way, it's in the background. Yeah, it's still kind of giving a little bit of atmosphere without, being so up in me. And I'm a mumblesmith, and I'll get down here to and that poor microphone if I don't have the compression on. Plus, I'm always running that filter fan back there. The compression just starts to turn up the noise of that filter fan. So, life is noise, right? All right, let's put a flat washer. Jack's cool. It's actually got the Cosmo Black. Cosmo Black flat washer and nut, and the jack itself is actually Cosmo Black. We'll put that over there so we're not losing pieces. Yes, sir. I know I want to clean up Mr. Jack and Mr. Volume Pot here. Plus, I can give him some uniform. What would we call it? Hookup wire. I can give him some a little bit more uniform looking hookup wire. The jumper for the three-way switch is probably just fine. I'm gonna bend this contact out a little bit. Sorry, I'm aiming into the random sphere. Yeah, that one's sticking out straight. I bent that one over too, like this one. Don't really have to worry about the ground because of the copper shielding, although he doesn't have it run in the bottom of that hole, therefore it is not making contact with the nut of the switch. Little things like that you just have to think about. I mean, as far as the field of it, it's not adding to the noise, but if you don't have a wire going to the back of it where that you can tell the body of it goes right through the middle, and if you're not soldering to that back, and then this copper doesn't screw to it, then the body of it's just kind of a noise magnet. It's just one thing that's just adding to it. So you have your positive leads next to it. It's not like it's generating noise, but it's sort of picking up crap. It's just more clicky poppy when you touch it kind of stuff. And it honestly won't change the signal if it is grounded and not making clicky poppies. It won't change the sound, it just doesn't make noise. And it's funny, little things like that make a difference. Only a little bit, but you get all these things ganged up together and it just drives you insane. So I'll probably just. Oh no! He does the ground wire, the shield of this shielded wire definitely was soldered. But that's what that blue heat shrink is going back to that. So it does have an actual soldered ground to the body of the switch. Cool. And the copper shielding is going to get conductivity because of the pot screwing down to it. This one doesn't hit it, but that guy does, so that should be alright. Alright. I guess more or less I'm going to get this jack unsoldered so I can just get it out of the way for a minute. Yeah, and that's just a cloth insulator, vintage wire he's using for a bridge ground. It's got the Schaller 410 fixed bridge, because they're really, it's nice because they got that one twisty lug that will lock the saddles whenever you're not adjusting them. Bridge pickup hole over here. Man, the neck pickup hole has this massive drilled up spot over here. Wild looking. I mean, it's a small hole where it continues, but it's just nuts. It's crazy looking. Big old cave wallowed out in there. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. Looking at the camera, I'm seeing more than I could see looking at it. Looks like it's been drilled out too big and then doweled and then drilled again. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's crazy. It's so funny when you start looking in at projects, the things you find, you're like, what is happening? What's going on? Oh, I remember. He said the guy that he had put this pickup in, he drilled through the front of the guitar because it was a bridge humbucker guitar, and the guy routed the neck pickup hole, and then he had to do the channel, and he drilled out the front of the guitar. I forgot. So this is all built-in stuff, and I think he made this big hole to try and join and find where. Oh gosh. Well, that makes me kind of a little bit nauseated feeling just thinking and riddling that out. I'm like, oh, that's gnarly, dude. I love the guy. I know the guy. I love him, but I'm like, oh my. Didn't think that one through very, very well enough, I don't think. Yeah, that was one of those things that could have used a little bit more forethought. That's one reason I always keep that real fast Black & Decker drill. I just keep it rubber banded to the power strip down there, so it doesn't unplug itself. And I just keep it down here and change bits and just use it. I'll sometimes move the trash can right under it, and I'll just drill right over the trash can, so most of the mess ends up in the trash, and I vacuum up the rest. But I just leave that guy plugged in all the time, because it's just, he usually gets a long jobber length bit put in it, 1/8 or a 1/4 inch really long one, or drum sanding, all kinds of stuff. It's just like that thing just stays plugged in. Oh, good. That's an actually good question. That's one reason I'm undoing a lot of this, because I want to look at it and see if it'll tell me. Right now I can't see enough. To actually identify. I can. It's open enough. I should be able to put the meter on it and see, but man, it looks to me like the shielding is pretty much in danger of shorting out the whole thing. That was like up and just about touching. Yeah, we need to address some things. Let's see what we can find out. Let's get a looky at pokey test. Let's get a little help from this guy right here. Give it some traction. Go up to the old 200K range. it's not that big a deal which we do, but we'll give ourselves a turned all the way up, turn down. Yep, definitely grounding out. All the way up. We're not shorting out. That's encouraging. And I'm not. Well, I'm just at. Let me get into the megs. That way we're. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're definitely a 500. We're definitely around a 500. So that's good, and I'm sure it's an audio taper, which means it'll work quite well with a treble bleed. That makes me. Now the shielding under here being so close, I'm like, do I have enough threads to put a lock washer under it to give it a little bit of a boost and still tighten down? I guess I want to look at it just for those reasons. Let me get my meter out of the way. See if we can get to the bottom of this. I need to put these back plate screws over here too, so they don't end up in the floor. The jack is fine, the pickup's fine, but I would like to get a look at these threads. It's pretty low to the body. I'm gonna use my favorite little worn out polished screwdrivers. When you got one down low, that's the easiest way to get under those. Yeah, there's not a lot of thread. Not a lot of thread showing. I don't think I could get a lock washer under there. But I'm gonna open it up just so I can see what I do have to work with. Oh yeah, and one of his pickup ring screws busted off. I'm gonna have to do a sharpened piece of tubing around that, just enough to get a hold and get it out of there. There's a little bit sticking out. I might be able to get my little baby vice grips on that, especially if I was to come in and zing it on both sides with the little diamond Dremel just right on the surface. It's too difficult to get an actual square straight. Sometimes you just end up putting a wedge on the end and you ruin your chances of getting a hold of something. Alright, these are the pot nut washer I'll put over on top of the back plate. Now it's hanging free. It's wild and free. He did end up putting a dedicated straight separate piece. Let's get the back of a smooth screwdriver here. I guess while we're at it, we can check the conductivity of all the pieces of shielding. I think it's all got, plenty good conductive adhesive, that it's probably all linked together just fine. But we could verify that pretty darn easy. Let's see. 0.4, 0.3. This piece versus the oh yeah, so that piece that's here, and I'm touching what would touch the back plate. Nothing. And Wow, that's actually a pretty high number too. Well, there it goes, 0.6. So wow, that should, up here should just about zero out. 2.7. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be a zero. Yeah, like some of it zeroes out, like it's like the same piece of copper. Yeah, but I'm up what would touch the top of the back plate, and I'm getting, there it goes, 0.5. .6. But the one that touches the actual pot that sets the, I mean, the body of this switch, it does have a soldered ground and it's soldered to the back of the pot, so but then we confirmed that this has a cutout and it's just screwed into the wood, it's not screwed into the copper, so it's not imparting anything to it. And if this piece that the pot screws on obviously is a, this is like a hardware, this piece of copper is like a hardware hardware grade. It's not conductive shielding. So that would basically just, oh my goodness, all this shielding was just an antenna for noise. It wasn't helping. Oh my gosh. It's some weird little things, like you see all this, oh man, it looks like NASA, that's gotta be great. Oh no, it's not great. If it doesn't make contact from the one main ground, I'm telling you. Well, now I'm getting a 3.0, but I might be touching the wrong spot. Yeah, there it goes, nothing. The pot that the part that the potentiometer was screwed down to, it's zero. I can't get, there we go, I got an 11.6 on one end of it, 10.7. That's not very good though. Wow. I can move out to the other shinier stuff and I get, yeah, like a 1.0, 0.9. You know, I'm getting closer to a dead short or actual good conductivity. Jumping around 4, yeah, nearly shorts out. So yeah, I'm gonna put some dabs of solder on all this. Just took apart my Behringer cable tester and cleaned out the battery. Ooh, yeah, the corrosion will cause you some grief, right? But now I can't get it back together. That sucks. I wonder. Well, Behringer cable tester. At least they're not very expensive. But yeah. Honestly, with things like that, it's just like this. It's like it looks like, wow, this is like NASA, but then this piece that the pot screwed down to, it's like hardware grade, and it's not. So if this one thing was screwing up the whole thing, sometimes it's the little hidden, like you have. That's why we do the testers, so we can just like test all the points. And we're like, the one thing that you're like, okay, everything's good, and then you go to the one thing that you're depending on. Nothing. You're like, oh no. This one thing that didn't seem important was everything. Yeah, super tight fit. It's a matter of time. Yeah. Don't give up. You will be mine. I will have you. You will have your pound of flesh. I will have my pound of flesh. Yes, sirree. Yeah, I'd say first thing to do is just start chasing all the little seams of this copper and putting little dabs of solder on them. That's about the simplest solution for all of this. That's bus wire. I need solder. I've got a roll of bus wire here, but also a pound of Kester 6040, like the good stuff. Kester. But then there's my stuff I got from Lowe's, which has been great. It'd be great for this. It just needs something to make this all a reality here. No sense of getting very complicated with this. Alright, let's see what we see some other chunks that are chunking. That one part that the pot screws onto, I've soldered in 2 places, which should make one big old difference. I see some gaps over here. We'll just hit because we can. Don't think there's any other parts that are dipsy doodle or anything. Yeah, man. Actually, some of these seemed a little subject over here. Suspect, I would say. Better way of putting it. Some weird gaps up here. Alright, clean you off. In the meantime, Softtech Deluxe Big Muff. Yeah! I got a Big Muff Nano that a guy did a fret job for about a decade ago, selling a few blocks from me. I've got the money sitting over there, just, you know, holiday. He's had trouble getting over here. He was coming to me. I'm telling me being a lazy ass, I could just go to him. Need to get John's attention? Somebody press exclamation hey. Dang ads. Sorry about that. For 17 cents a day. I should have a little sign that I put up. For 17 cents a day, you don't have to watch friggin' ads. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a notepad. I'm also gonna take my coffee glass back to the kitchen. Hang in there, guys. It's cool looking. Let's get in that copper. Be right copper back. That's fun. That's just fun. Come on, man. That's good stuff. Gotta love it. Alright, I'm getting a notepad and honestly, more coffee. Baby girl, she's the snoozest blues. She's a sweet baby girl. Meow, meow, meow. Sweet baby girl. Sweet baby. Meow. Meow. Still getting your coffee, huh? Still getting your coffee? Yeah. It's gonna be so great, you guys. Doing love and beer. You guys. Yeah. Alright, I can't forget the notepad. I gotta bring the notepad I talked about. I had some big talk about some kind of notepad. I'm not even sure exactly where I've got it, but I'll find it. Alright, here's a little baby clipboard. That'll work. I like it. It'll work. To proceed with our in progress production. Sometimes you feel figgy bar. They're like, fig bar? What? Yeah, that's crazy. You're on Twitch. So, yeah, so good. So good, yeah. When I get back in here, that's where you're like, man, thank God he's got a limiter on that. Alright, how we can say this? Like, nope, it don't look quite that way. It's been so long since I've seen a symbol for cents or a number of pennies. I can't remember how it looked. I'm like, okay, try that again. $0.17 a day? No. It works for me. Yay. For 17 cents a day, no commercials. Oh yeah, sorry. I was just, whenever you said ad or whatever, I was like, man, I need to, when somebody's stuck on an ad, I can like stick this up in the camera for 70 cents a day. You don't have to watch ads. All right. Well, we'll go back to this one for now, because you got your figgy bar. You got your. I got, yeah, that'll hang out there. More importantly, you've got your iced coffee. That was the so good part. Unsweetened. Yeah, man, those things are good. These are really good. Oh, sounds like the sweetie's back. She was taking some stuff back to, I don't know, I think to Torrid, one of the shopping stores. Something didn't work out. Anyways, guys, you just gotta love some coffee, right? Gotta love it. So good. So good. So it's so good. It's coffee time. Oh yeah. Jake helped us determine that minus 40 decibels is the amount of music. But when you're singing to the song, it's so good. Figgy bar and coffee too. We're singing about it, yeah. All right. Trying to get back into a getting things done mode here. At least I'm streaming. I went for a week without streaming, so I was in all in dumpers mode, and I was like all depressed and whatever. Apparently that was a low, and this is a not so low. I'll take it. Lord knows I got guitars. I'm thinking if it's the top lock on the door locked. Can she get in? Yeah. She can. All right. We dibby-dabbied our solder. Oh, let's double check it. Let's prove that we did something. Let's prove that it actually accomplished something. I will back out here so we can kind of see what we're looking at. You guys can see that and numbers. Well, here, I'll do this so it's all lit up. I mean, I could do the beeps, but I like to see the number. I'm going to go all the way from one end to the other. And still only a 2.8, so it sounds to me like there's a couple things could use a little more dabs of solder. But if I get down here, this is where the actual pot screws down. Dead short. Alright, so there's a piece over here that's got some, I don't know if it got too many fingerprints or something before it's stuck down, but it's not. Dead short. 0.2. So yeah, obviously this piece over here needs a little bit more attention. Cool. I've got company. I'm gonna go say hi. I guess you just could keep me in the browser and lurk for a bit, and I'm gonna say hi to our company. I didn't know we had a company. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You have your own lives to live, but if you hang out, I'll be back in a little bit. Have some more coffee, Dave. Yum. This is fun, dude. Yeah, I need to. Yeah. It's absolutely. Oh, I have to take it.
Oh no, I didn't know it would be.
So far, it's just been stepping. It's been stepping.
Have you been playing it?
I haven't turned it on since the one time where I was playing it through just its speaker. It's a pretty cool amp, though.
Well, it's cool.
I mean, golly, it needs to be done where it's plugged into just the cab and do that thing again too. Then I don't think it will rattle.
I think that thing would be better as a head.
Yeah, then it won't rattle. It won't rattle its chassis.
Yep.
Kind of thing. Made some more coffee earlier. I made him wait. I made him look like making coffee. But I'm also singing at the top of my lungs, and they're like, and then I could see them in the chat. They're saying all the things I'm saying. So I'm like, all right, we still got a stream going anyway.
Interesting Warmoth the other day. I don't know how to explain it. It was interesting.
I haven't looked at it in 2 days.
It was an affordable Alder chamber with a caravan on the tummy, and it had
Turn me down a little bit.
two of the volume tone
Yeah, there we go.
for Les Paul. The lower ones, the volume tone,
Yeah.
and then the upper rear tone, but a little bit bigger for a switch. But it had the telly from the back cut out.
So it had the
no,
long.
it had the Les Paul.
So it did have the Les Paul like
But
trapezoid
it didn't have the one up top.
parallelogram.
Yeah. It didn't have the one up top. It was... I can't remember now. It was a really cool two-piece Alder top that looked nice.
Nice.
Now I can't remember if it was... I don't think it was humbuckers. I think it
And
was...
it's a telly shape.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it was affordable. It was like... I remember $295.
Yeah.
But it had all the...
Cool.
Or is it the other one? The tortoise binding.
There was one that had
Fucking beautiful.
tortoise binding. Yeah, there was one that had
It was
tortoise binding.
beautiful. That one, particular one. No, I'm thinking of a different one than that. But that one had a stripy top on it with an altered back, I think. It was $450. I remember that.
They have a cool one in the jazz casters too. That as I got to looking at those, and they have like 2 or 3 rear route ones, and so they have like a volume and tone kind of down low, and because they had the extra bout, one of them had like the Strat Jack too,
Yeah.
because the lower bout sticks down so far. It also had the Strat Jack, even though it was rear routed. Yeah, interesting bodies.
Well, that one with the
One of them had tortoise binding too.
well, the one that had the tortoise binding had just a regular Strat. I mean, the regular telly mount from the top side. Which I know
Yeah.
you like. It's simple to deal with. It had a really pretty top, and I think you could route the pickups how you wanted. They had whatever they had,
Yeah,
but it was a really pretty top with that tortoise.
Very
With a,
nice.
with a reasonable alder. I can't remember if it was solid or not though. It may have been that it was heavier because it was solid. But anyway, that other alder one with just the alder over it was interesting because it was the way it was done. When you had your volume tone with the switch, one of the tone things would be you could add another whole.
which is neat because you got that vibe of the Les Paul parallelogram route in the back, which has that cool. It just looks neat because of the way the cover look, the back on it, back plate looks. And I don't know, just that classic knob arrangement. And there were some that had that did that and had the switch instead of one of the knobs. That's like that. It's really cool.
And those they're fun. Warmoth's rear. This
Yeah, the big control.
is an SG. That's the SG rear panel.
Yeah, it's
Pretty-
a little bit bigger than what The SG was, but it was pretty
I
big.
don't know, the SG's a pretty big hole in the back.
It's pretty big.
It's just kind of funny how they've taken that.
You've had one or two. You've had one or two of those that have had the big back plate.
Mm-hmm. Even the one that's here has it, even though it's just a two-knob.
It's true.
It has a jack on the front and the thing, and also if it's four knobs with the jack on the front and it has a place for the switch there too, all fits in there. Pretty big space in those. But I've had a couple of those that are like that, yeah. Yeah, well.
Man, that one with the Gibson logo T-tops. Some good sounding pickups.
One thing. Really.
Some good sounding pickups.
Yeah, that was cool. It was just that trim was almost impossible.
That one was a very problematic.
It just didn't have the neck angle lean or something to deal with that. It didn't have the headstock tilt enough. It was a less tilt.
Plus, its bushings and all that had gotten. They just weren't quite.
Yeah.
I don't think they were made with the right kind of brass for oil light brass. I don't think they were. It was like a lesser model or something because it wasn't the same shape as the other Bigsby's either. It was just like a.
No, it was a Gibson one.
Gibson Bigsby.
Yeah, it was a Gibson Bigsby. It was not a Bigsby.
It didn't seem like it was. The brass was oil light brass. It didn't look like it was the.
It had those bushings in it. Those whatever they were.
Oh, it did have the broke down nylon bushings
Yeah,
in
it wasn't brass.
which were very old and dried out. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
And provided no grounding.
Yeah.
And you had to wire it up from underneath to the bridge.
Did that one have the buzz stop? Did it? Because the buzz stop would make ground, but not if those had bushings too.
No, they had bushings too.
Oh, Lord.
You ran it up underneath the bridge, and I had you put a different bridge on the top because the other one had.
It was one of those, yeah,
done that thing.
the sunken tooth.
How does that happen?
The Cinco-matic.
That didn't even have an archtop body and angle for that to happen.
I know.
How did that happen? You couldn't have gotten that kind of.
It had the, I guess that's what we call it, the Cinco-matic, the ones that the crater in the middle. It's like, oh, got a Cinco-matic.
What's wrong with this? Oh, this is what's wrong. But it.
Not all Tunematics did that, but
No.
some of
Some of
them were cast out of like soft enough pot metal. Yeah, they polished it up and got a chrome plating on it, but the rest of it was just like cast with voids, half zinc. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those things would just crater.
Yep.
They didn't necessarily sound bad, but
No,
yeah, they didn't.
But they would deform.
Yep.
Is a created problem.
Which I think is a lot of where some people that are really like jazzed on doing the top wrap so that it's not pulling down so hard. Because if you were to top wrap that around the tailpiece from the beginning, it would have never done that because the down pressure wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
It's just because they had the stop tailpiece all the way down, and then the bridge had to be a certain height to get with the neck angle, and it's like. Eventually that thing's just like the failing hammock of
And the
tone.
problem with that guitar is the bridge height wasn't high because the neck wasn't angled. Or it was, but it was not that angle. It was this, and it was just not enough.
Yeah.
And the Bigsby didn't pull it down enough to have.
I had a no, it was early 70s Flying V, and I used to hate how much the fretboard stuck up on that and it had kind of the straight neck. I used to hate that, but I loved that about that SG for some reason. That was just like so cool.
That was very playable. The only problem was those strings they weren't under enough tension. You could knock the strings out of whack.
I wonder what you would do to fix that specific guitar, but I guess we would just have to machine some actual Delrin bushings that were super slick, or
Something.
just replace those entirely with something. Because that bridge is not the same shape as another Bigsby. It's like
No, it was its own thing. It was its own Gibson.
it just needed to be healed somehow. Oh yeah.
So it had those embossed Gibson covers on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dressed up guitar, but they made the other version of the SG at the same time. And I don't know that one may have caught it. That one had many blocks in it, whereas the other SG would have had just dots, right? At that time.
I think so.
So
That was
was it a dressed up version or was it a
very individual style SG. I remember putting like a pat of butter size wax under those covers too, so that they would, be not wax potting the whole thing, but so that the covers didn't just rattle with the amp.
When I was at Louisville the other day, I saw I saw something else, but I saw a set of behind in the glass of the counter under the register there.
Oh yeah.
They had a set of Slash pickups that had the nickel covers on them.
Oh man.
Clearance. $199.
It's all right.
Instead of basically, I think they would be like $279
Yeah.
because of the nickel covers.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And being Slash pickup.
oh, who needs the nickel covers? That's interesting. And that's a good price. You know,
Yeah.
they clearance things and it's weird, and then a few months later they're selling the same thing at regular price, and they're doing.
My friend Tony brought over his 80 Les Paul Custom, low, worn out frets, but the Slash pickups in that thing sound so good for that guitar. It's like, I want to try these, and it's like, no, we played it. It's like, God, it just sounds so good. I mean, it's just so. It just does all the classic, like, iconic Les Paul sounds. It's just so good. It's like, man, I don't know if you could ever take these pickups out of this guitar. It's just so good. It looked good too.
Definitely look good.
Ah! Nice.
Well, I'll let you get back to it.
Yep. Chasing after this poor guy had this bare knuckles. I don't know what model this is, but you can tell it looks like it's about half George Lynch style and half. It's got regular slug coil over here, but Allen head coil over it for the screw coil. But it's an unpotted pickup, and he thought he was having all these noise problems and feedback problems because of it not being an unpotted pickup. I don't think the actual chassis ground was ever grounded. Just the wires, which this would just make this an absolute noise magnet. And I don't think it was ever double coil. I think just one coil got. So it was half the strength, one coil, and not shielded with the. You can imagine what that would sound like. That would just be. And it's not potted, so you're trying to turn up gain to get the sound out of it. And you could see the style of guitar it is.
Oh,
You know what we're going for. We're going for that.
That's right.
The thing.
Yeah.
It's like supposed to be the thing, and it's like, oh man, it's like, and the poor guy. He's like shielding everything he can, trying to get the noise under control, and it's a Warmoth pick, and he had it plecked, which is good. That means it'll be pretty darn level.
Yeah.
That will have healed some of the woes down here where they don't put the fall in the fretboard. I mean, it's got everything going for it, but except it just. I think he had it wired at a Guitar Centers, and I know he took some stabs at it because he's had stuff in and out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Did you fix the pickup?
I don't. Yeah, I tested it, and it's fine. I mean, I even did how I have my gator clip jumpers with the 1/4 inch, the female 1/4 inch Switchcraft jack on it, so I can literally plug the gator clips into my cable I'm using it in my amp. It cranked it up with gain, and I had to get it in its magnetic field into the magnetic field of the speaker before it. It has no problems. No problems. Yeah, and it tests out great. It's only like a 9 around a 9K with both coils.
Oh,
It's
nice.
not a hot pickup. It's gonna be
It's gonna sound good.
It's gonna be dynamite. I'm thinking this looks like a fast track. It's cool. This DiMarzio in here's actually got the gold rails, so this thing just has all that kind of. It's a black bridge, like gold rails on the pickup. A kind of bone cream with. It's just gonna be this all kinds of.
With black's hexes on them.
Yeah, it's just got all this over here and that over there. This disheveled awesomeness.
And a switch.
It's got Ranger Joe decal on the headstock. That thing's just gonna be awesome. It'll be great. Oh, well, I'll get it there, man, where it'll do all the things. It even has like the double prong actual one of the nice jacks. Has double grounds, double positives.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
That's gonna be great, man. Anyway, that's what's going on.
Nice.
This is cutting in line in front of everything, but the pickup's been on my table while I was getting done with that Padula bass, and I'm just like, you know what? I just need to get this, just get it done and get it going. He's out of town. It's not like it's it's got stickers, and I want to work on it. I think this is a John thing.
There you go.
That's pretty much what's happening. Oh, that's a John guitar. He wants to work on that one.
There you go.
I feel bad. I'll get to all the other things too.
Alright, play some rock and roll on it when you're done.
Yeah, man.
Alright,
Thank you so much.
take care.
And we have a soldering project coming up. We're gonna solder some leads for that those power amps, so we can get those
I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, get those babies to whoever they need to be to, but we'll get them to where they'll be ready to go.
We'll make them functional.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you later.
All right, man. I want to flatten out some of this shielding there. I was actually cutting some of this shielding tape flush. Hey, it's KS. How you doing? Yeah, we're conversating. We're conversating about crazy guitars. Doing up the craziness. I should test the conductivity of the shielding tape up here and see if it's actually making contact with itself. I'm sure if we test straight across the bottom, yep, zeroes out. If we test, doing just fine, my man. Hope the things are going good in the KS household. Yeah, the side pieces are not quite making the cut here. Where did my lead go? There it is. Oh yeah, dead short side to side. These end pieces need a little bit. Wow, nothing. Or something, yeah. The very ends, I'm getting like nothing. So yeah, I need to put some dabs of solder on some of these. Get some more coffee. Get some more coffee, you say? Oh yeah. I guess since we have our soldering iron on, we'll just go to town here. Going to town. Solder town, yeah. Soldering them up. Touching the pieces. Get some going down there. Get some going over here. Blop. And the end pieces, we're not making the touchy conductivity. And I don't know exactly why. But We'll get to the bottom of it. I see a void. I see a void right there I could fix. Clean the soldering iron off. Yeah. Big John's guitar emporium. Alright, this end piece also wasn't getting connectivity. So let's get some solder going through there. Alright. Honestly, don't see where. Let's get this side too, because we can. All right. I mean, we're basically at the point where we need to test. John's guitar report. I never know who's still hanging out, who's still listening to my insanity. You put it out there, you hope for the best. Alright, let's see what the testicles say. See how this feels in the testicles. Get ourselves, switch up our view, get a variety of looks here. End to end. Oh, nothing. Still nothing. Wow. This. Make sure I'm actually touching. Okay, now I'm actually touching. Whoa, our numbers are all over the place. Make sure these guys are plugged in good. Make sure you guys are plugged in good. Alright. Copper to copper. Dead short. Bottom to side. Nothing. Bottom to side. Dead short. Bottom to side. Dead short. Of course, those are soldered, so they ought to be. All right, bottom to very end. Dead short. Oh, whoa, jumping around. Nothing. Dead short. Okay. That's just me having not a very good. I'm not touching it very well. Let's see. This one down here still. I don't know how. It's like. All the jumping around and almost, well, I got down to 4. Oh, almost a dead short. What? It's just, okay, there's a dead short. Is the damn thing making contact or is it not? Can't quite decide. Maybe it's just kind of oxidized or something. There's a dead short. If I rub this back and forth, dead short. Be touching another place. Dead short. Okay. I think it's just oxidized. Just where I'm rubbing it happens to be oxidized. Alright, I feel good about it. Side to side. Dead short. Okay, cool. Good enough. Let's go back to the back cavity again. There was one place that was suspect. This end, let's go to the back of the pot where it's gonna screw in, and this piece, let me get you in the light. So it's only going down to about 15, 14, whereas if I go to another piece and it's dead short, bottom to bottom, dead short. Bottom to side, dead short. Up in the back plate area to the pot, dead short. This piece over here just needs a little more dibby dabs of solder because it's not. I don't know. Must have got sticky fingered or something before it got taped down. Sometimes we'll get oily fingers on things and they don't function the way they ought to, or the way we want them to. I don't see a heck of a lot of like actual gaps, but it has to be in the adhesive itself. So I'm gonna get little thin layer going around in places, kind of nice and flat. Let's hit this here. Can't imagine it not making contact now. A little void there where that piece is going. Alright, we've got metal touching metal now. Let's get our tester going, see what we can find out. Alright, back to where the back of the pot screws down into the end. Dead short. Yay! Alright, bottom to bottom, dead short. Bottom to the back plate, dead short. Bottom to the other side of the back plate, dead short. Okay, now we know we're... Alright, back plate to back plate, other side. A little jumpy. Maybe it's just oxidation though, because there we have it. Yeah, I kind of think it's just oxidation, because if I rub it around, I can get it to dead short, go complete conductivity. So that should fix that. And I think I'm going to do my paper insulated ring of copper around the jack itself. I could actually do some in here and solder it too, but I think I'll just do my little weird signature tube of copper thing, which works really well. All right. Put some actual water in. The coffee tries to scare all the water out. All right. We got our pot out where we can get a look at it, and it definitely is labeled. It's labeled 500. Okay, audio taper, and it is. You can see a Super Duncan symbol on the back. So yeah, man, that and some cleaner, and make sure that like that little buildup of solder on the bottom, that's no good since it's so close to this copper tape. You gotta really watch out for that. Matter of fact, it's copper colored. It actually did stick to the copper, and it pulled a piece of it off. Things to watch out for. Which, I mean, that's a dead short. Your guitar won't work, kind of thing. And the funny thing is it wouldn't be obvious where the problem was. You would have to hunt it down, because it's underneath the pot. I mean, I know from so many guitars and so many just weird problems. I go to these things sooner than later because I've encountered them so much. A lot of times this lug, if it's been bent and soldered, will at some point lose contact with that carbon filament. Like it just won't stay riveted down, and all of a sudden you can't turn your guitar all the way off because it's not fully grounded. And it's just stuff that I go to sooner than later because I've encountered it so many times. And it's just it's sort of a byproduct of people trying to figure out how to work on guitars. It makes sense. Don't know how much heating up and how much bending people can do before they cause a problem. They don't have a lot of experience with it yet, so they did not make this cavity quite as deep as I kind of wish they would. There's not a tremendous amount of thread sticking out the front. Kind of wish it's a little bit deeper, but we're just gonna make it work without a lock washer, which is not my favorite. But I think now that the bottom prongs of the part are cleaned up and we definitely have this piece stuck down good, I'm gonna actually solder the front edge of this down, because there's part of it that's still jumping around. You know, I need to get this too. God, stupid light. Oh, you bastard. Let's just put the nut and the flat washer. They're silver. I know they go with the pot. Put the knob in here. Back plate off to the side. Now we don't have to fight that. That way the light's kind of coming from the direction of that the camera's pointing. It actually gets a nicer looking shot whenever it's pointing the same direction as the shot. If this over here was kind of lippy-lappity, I'm gonna solder it down. I don't want that thing being unwieldy and popping up after the fact, getting into our solder lugs. Clean the tip off real quick. Cool. Alright. Kind of just fixing what's in here. This is not how I would do this. I always take one piece in the bottom. I like to, and I'll even do an impression, like a large piece. Like a while back I ordered some whole sheets, like just whole sheets of the stuff with a conductive adhesive. That way I can just take a section of it and just kind of doing a finger impression around it, and I'll cut it out to where it fits in the bottom cleanly, and then I'll just do the sides clean, and it's perfect. It's just perfect. It's smooth and not wrinkled and not doubled up and making a funky radius in the bottom and like shorten out parts and stuff. It's just, and it completely covers everything. But I find that if you do the bottom first, that's what'll happen. You'll get a clean application of that stuff. And I mean, as far as getting up to the back plate, even if you just did the sides exactly, or even a little smaller than the depth, get down to where it'll flood it with light, and it'll straighten out. Even if you did these a little bit less than the depth of it, you could take little skinny strips and like tape along the bottom in here, and even do a dab of solder, or make sure that the one that screws up here from there like actually starts there and tapes up the side, and then the back plate, so you know whenever that screws into it, it makes 100% contact, goes up here and makes 100% contact with the back plate going on, because it screws down to it, that screws down to that, and then the rest of it's all touching it, so it gets plenty grounded. But yeah, you can just, I find if I do the bottom first and get it all perfect, the shape of the cavity, goes in easily, and you just do the sides, and you might do if they have a tiny gap where you can solder them together, or wherever they do actually overlap, you can do a dab of solder or something. But yeah, just clean, works better. Alright, I'm gonna set my man up with my favorite treble bleed network. Funky rosin core. I don't like certain brands of solder with really funky rosin core. Stuff just starts to corrode and build up and get all funky. Not my favorite. Big Guitar Emporium. Yeah, it's a gross. It's gross. This stuff is icky poo. Icky poo nanny. We don't like it. Yeah, sorry. I should do all the little fiddly stuff before I get other things in the way. Get my, where do I have the tweezels, tweedly-dees over here? Sticking out of one of my cups over there. The readings and the writings say over here. That's the third from the end. That's the one used by itself. I want the one right on the end, actually. Oh, I want to pick those up off the floor. They flew out of my hand. Don't drop the whole thing of capacitors. That's at all. At least I didn't do it. Totally within the realms of possibility. That's something that makes me nervous holding a tray of these stupid things. It's, oh good, there's an opportunity to drop that entire organizer of that. Double look at this. Make sure the number it's on it is what I want it to be. Yeah. 471. And the resistor that I want. Getting all helpers. Alright. Got that in hand. Whippity woodles. Based on the openness, I'm going to point these outward, not inward. And I like the number to be up so you can read it. I've dropped a screw off literally every guitar. I know, man. It's just like a gravity storm. Anytime you start working with things you do not want to drop, like, oh, please don't fall, because it goes into the abyss of obscurity. It's just like gone forever. I mean, it's really not, but good luck finding it. Find some little weird ass crack to fall into. And you know, logically it can't have gone far. It's not like it sprouted a jet engine and flew off. It just finds some place to hide. I'm gonna point this direction. Components with different length anodes on them make you build circuits differently and point them differently, start things different ways. I'm gonna get some help from my grippy snippy holders. Let's grab one. There, I can let go of it. Trade sides. Being a toot. Yeah, man. Cool. All right. That should be pretty well under control. Before I solder stuff and chop things off, do a quick spacing check. Yeah, it's a little narrower than this. It's good. All right. Being a turkey. Little bitty things are just annoying little baby problems that are annoying. They just are. They are what they are. Cool. Clip onto that. Get some fluxy doodles on there, so it will solder up relatively easy. Not give too much of a headache. Less of a cussy time. Get Mr. Soldering Iron. Clean that tip off a little bit. Do this by braille because I've got the light on the shot and I'm not in the shot. That's a cool reason I do that. The flux on the piece though, because the solder will just follow it. It just it's a lot more behaved. You should think about adding some alert sounds. That way people can get your attention if they need to. Well, that's where's the title at? I've got it in there. If you need my attention, put exclamation hey and it'll set off a sound. But yeah, I need to get way more set up. Right, yep. It does, and you can't hear it very loud because it's literally the sounds on my machine, and it plays it instantly to me, and you just hear it over the mic a little bit, but yeah, that way it's not one of those hit it, wait 10 seconds for it to bounce around the earth until it sets something off. It just does it immediately. And I hear it. I'll probably always have that in there, and I'll keep adding alerts to that. I'll have to link them to where they hit the desktop audio too, though, so that you guys can hear them through the stream audio. What's the fun of hitting a sound alert if it's not stereo through the desktop audio through the stream audio? I'm not sure that's the setup I'm going to stick with, but that's working for now. But yeah, then again, it's not, because it's like you need to get some alerts. Like, yeah, but yes, I need to hook some to the redeems so that you can literally see them off of the point system. Put some that are in the list, and have a list of things with alerts. That I should I'll try to add to the like the stream info that's at the bottom. I never see that because I'm always on the stream, but I need to get the stream going and then look at it on a separate, like her laptop or something, just to see how it's looking, and work in progress, I guess. But I agree, it's been driving me nuts not having alerts. I got so many ideas. I got stuff, notes taped to the monitors and all kinds of stuff that I'm meaning to get done. I wants to get them done. All right. This is going to be the neck pickup. And I may end up changing the polarity of one of these pickups versus the other when I finally get the bridge pickup in too. This is obviously some heat shrink. This appears to be a separate ground wire. That's some heat shrink. A number of odd choices. Like somebody got to looking at some kind of wiring how-to, and they just really embraced heat shrink and doing heat shrink and wiring that way and wiring. That's like, how about you make wiring work first before you learn how to insulate it with the heat shrink? It's like, let's just make sure we can get it working first. And I don't know at what particular time these things happened, but they were all ultimately done in an unworking scenario. So there's that. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna start digging at this with manicure scissors and try to get some of this heat shrink that's sealing in the problems. It's like it's insulated from being fixed. And what's funny is, it's a wide open. The purpose of heat shrink and all that is to insulate connections from other connections. And you have this wide open bathtub. It's not like any of this stuff is potentially crowded in here. So, I mean, I was concerned with the lugs of this pot being close to that shielding, but now I've got it soldered down for sure, and there's not extra solder on the bottom of these. I'm going to pre-solder the components on this so that there's no rogue drops of solder trying to short the circuit out. You know, basically attention towards the things that are functional, like that. This is going to make a functional difference. I think heat shrink's cool. It's like, but it's like it sort of turns something into like a craft project instead of an actual working device. Once again, can't say any of that without sounding like a dick. It's like, well, if you weren't so stupid, you wouldn't be so stupid. It's not really the point I'm trying to make. I'm sure you get the general gist of it. Alright, the chassis ground is running with that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I definitely don't fault anyone for putting heat shrink on parts where you've got that braided the braided ground with it, because that stuff can touch. It's like it's an open metal thing. It's conductive. If it does touch the positive, it's going to short out. And by putting the heat shrink on it, you're insulating it so it doesn't short something out. But I'm just like, you're not strapped for room in here. This thing's a bathtub. Like, as long as something's pointing the right direction and you kind of coil the wire out of it, even if you needed to do a little thread tie of bus wire and just sort of corral it all together and crimp it so it's not waving around in there and trying to short things out. But yeah, there's hardly any wiring in this thing in this gigantic open space. Now all of this is potentially a short because it's all ground, the surface of it's all grounded, it's conductive. So yeah, but that's not a problem unless you're a positive thing that's going to short out. So ground to ground is ground. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to create a ground loop inside your guitar. It's like, that's absolutely impossible. Earth is earth is earth. Ground is ground is ground. That does not exist unless you have an active circuit and ripple in the power. It's like there's got to be something alternating back and forth. I mean, these pickups do create like a wild alternating current, but it's this tiny little signal that has to be amplified to be heard. It's nothing that could create a ground loop. Yeah, that kind of stuff was always hilarious to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Ground loop in your guitar? No, ground is ground is ground. It doesn't matter how many times you go around the block with a ground. As long as they're all ground, they're just, ground doesn't have like some path where it goes through all these things to ground, like there's a flow of current or anything. It's just like, it's just ground. That's just where electrons go to settle. Like, so they're not like, I mean, I guess if you had a coil of the ground, like all the positive now has to go, but it's literally just gonna, wherever it touches, it's gonna stop at that point. It's not gonna keep traveling unless you're doing some active alternating positive power, like it's some sort of active circuit, and it has to have ripple in it. Yeah. Now I'm just flapping my gums at this point. Weird jumpy wires that are just confusing things. I'm alright with that little heat shrink right there, that's fine. This heat shrink, since we know that this is the chassis ground, the only thing is if it complicates. Anytime you seal off the negative wire that is going to be ground with the braided shield, now you can't change the polarity of this pickup without undoing all of that and getting that green wire separate, so that you can now ground the red wire with you just end up causing yourself problems. Now, if everything's been tested and you know for sure the polarity is this, it's going to work. This pickup's been tested with that pickup, they are the same polarity. The phase is the same. It's going to be, as long as you know how it's going to be wired, and then you can wrap and insulate anything you want. But when you're in a whole bathtub of shielded copper, you don't need, you're not doing anything to be able to like shield the wire from the already like shielded area inside. Now insulating it from shorting something out totally makes sense, but once again I'll say, like, this is an open, like, this, there's not a crowded, so you're not trying to get two like 10 components right next to one another that are running the risk of touching a positive to a ground and shorting out. Like, this is just an open field, man. So with that in mind, I'm going to take this heat shrink off of that, because I think I would have an easier time or I want the option to be able to change the phase of the pickup on the neck pickup if I want. I'm not gonna have any trouble with this shorting out. I don't need this heat shrink. It just turns it even just dealing with this, it's just a huge pain in the ass. Just gonna cut off the solder joint so all this crap will slide off. But it ain't going quietly, dude. Just know that whenever you watch people's so helpful YouTube videos that tell you how to do every little Poindextery crafty way of doing, like, here's the craft way to make this look enveloped in polyvinyl shrinky dinks, and it's like craft perfect. You end up, somebody that has to fix it later on is burning your image in effigy. They're so mad at you. It's a slippery slope to form over function. I like putting things that dramatically because it's like, yes, there's somebody's like fist in the sky. God, this son of a yeah. And you work on guitars, you experience it on at least a weekly basis. I don't know about a daily basis, but I mean, you're just like, what, huh? You know, you just sit there, and even though you don't know everything about how something's done, you're just like, I know that isn't right, and I'm gonna have to try to undo it without ruining the guitar. It's frustrating as all get out, and some of it literally is just industry BS, like Fender and their harnessing of stuff with that high zinc solder. Like, they go through an assembly line, everything, and thread wires through things and crimp them so that it all stays together, so that they can now come in there with that high zinc solder and just solder it all together. The thing is, it's like, forget getting it apart without ruining it, because it's a giant booby trap. Gibson in there, oh boy, oh, those are a delight, aren't they? Yeah, your best bet with those is just to take the whole thing out and put it on eBay or Reverb, so that somebody can buy that easy cheesy thing and put it in their guitar, and it'll just clip together. Like Gibson fast-tracked it to charge you a bunch of money to sell it to you. It's like, man, if you're gonna charge me money for USA guitar. It's like, at least do the work. I mean, that's so, I'm sorry, that's just so overseas. Like, clipping something together, like, ooh, it's fast, saves money, saves money and time, but it's crap. That's what nobody's like coming out and saying. It's like, oh yeah, you're so Gibson, except now Gibson is crap. Thanks. Yeah, it's like you're not really doing the thing. You're not doing it for real. Same argument with PCB boards, printed circuit boards and amps and stuff like that. Some of the stuff, a well laid out board and all that stuff, you can cycle most of the noisy stuff over here, put something and get everything a circuit quiet and efficiently run things to where all the high zippy stuff is isolated to itself, and a connection is a connection, and then the whole thing's shielded around it and it's fine. It works great. But still not a point-to-point wired amp. Some of that stuff, there's so much going on, and there's not enough room in a head to do point-to-point of everything, of like a multifunctional, multi-channel effects loops and switching this and da da da. There's just nobody has time to point all that crap. I don't think. Certainly not the way the economy is now. Knowing damn well the first thing we're gonna do is cut that shit out. I know. Well, like I say, your best bet is just to carefully unclip it all, slide the pots out, put all that stuff in a nice pretty little box in a baggie, and take pretty pictures and go, here you go, a couple $100, get you some open to buy money, and go buy real stuff and solder it together with the proper circuit. Also, pro tip, anyone in here who isn't a tech, if you aren't going to do the install yourself, don't buy a pre-wired harness. Just tell the tech what you want, and yeah, there's freaking Bob Tart. There's of the Mustard Network, which you see in our little tag there. It's a guild. You know what? I haven't. Let's do another helping of shout outs. You gotta have those, man. I say you should check out freaking Pop-Tart stream whenever you get a chance. And you definitely need to check out Mustard Network, which I haven't alluded to in a while. It's a guild of gamers that are all crazy, and we like music, and we like stuff. I'm not really a gamer, but I love watching these guys play. And KS, you guys should definitely see KS's stream, because he's often streaming virtual reality games, and it's just a good time. It just is. It's a good time. Yeah, man. And the whole thing just makes me need to pee. So, there's that. Which is another opportunity to see Mustard Network and Copper Shielding. Awesome. Back in a second. Oh yeah. Got to go Steelers. Back in a second. As you were. Oh, you guys, oh, you guys. Yeah, man. People get upset and start cussing you out when they ask you for a cigarette, and you tell them, though, oh, yeah, buy your own shit. Ain't that the truth? It's like, hey man, you got this? Screw you for not, like. He's like, don't you realize that I'm your responsibility in life? And it's like, because I feel that way. Like, wait a minute. a lot of psychology of this day and age. It just seems like just modern thinking is just a great big gaslight. It's just insane. I mean, it's just so crazy. Man, these damn things. These Barbara's jalapeno puffs. Good. These things are good. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that in this line of work that I don't encounter that many people that are like uber entitled, like just, you know, just absolute buttholes. I don't encounter that many. Most people are just, they're doing their thing. They're just like, man, I was getting into this project and I'm having trouble, and and I'll just tell them that, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And they're like, that sounds complicated. I'm going to let you do it. Okay. But I also do the Patreon thing, so for people that want to learn and do the stuff and pick through the stuff as they have time. But yeah, I'm thankful. I don't get too many. I don't know, just kind of the rambling crazies that just like not walking into that. Like, oh, I coming around the corner, like, whoa, hey, kind of interesting class of society. I love them just like I love everybody, but sometimes you can't fix broke, and it's not your fault. It's not your, and that's why I was going on a diatribe about it's a little bit more of the collective thinking in this day and age. Is like, man, it's like the whole thing's a great big gaslight, man. It's just insane. Oh, you should feel this way. Like, what? I should feel guilty. I should feel guilty about this, and I should take on responsibility. I mean, yeah, it's cool to be nice. If a person feels philanthropic and they want to do something, that is really up to them. There's the whole right thing to do, but that's still up to you. That's still up to you if you feel that way, and that's something. And when you feel that way, you hang out with people that feel that way, and you guys can agree on that thing. That's like, that's cool. That's a lot about, as crazy as Mr. Network it is, we're all just kind of like, dude, I like this. I mean, too. I like it too. It's like, I like this silly thing. I like that silly thing too. It's like, just the term mustard network. That's a ridiculous term. But then again, it makes perfect sense. So it's mustard network. Technically a condiment, it started off as a seed, mustard seed, which is ground into a thing and into a paste, and then it added to vinegar and things and becomes this condiment called mustard. But that's kind of beautiful in a way too, because it's like you don't have that without somebody making it, but also being able to purchase it. And always, I like that it's yellow. These are yellow. Yummy. Yeah, no joke, dude. Smokes are like, well, that industry's been a little lopsided for many decades, but how do you not smoke weed? I've been very high before, man. Oh, colossally freaking high before. I don't know. I have a pseudo phobia of just inhaling smoke. I don't know. I'm just like, it's just not my the vehicle of that. But you can tell from me, you know, that here I am. I'm already a space cadet. I'm already pretty chill and really goofy, and I don't need any help. I'm pretty laid back, man. And but everybody that I live on here, they do puff and they do partake, and I love them for it. And it's just, I love the culture. I love puff culture and people that do it. And it's just like everything. Not all of that crowd is your thing or my thing, but you know, water seeks its own level. We can identify things. I guess that's another aspect of Mustard Networks. What I'm saying, it's like, okay, here we are. We're sort of a goofy troupe that get along, that I don't know, just have similar interests and approach to life. C'est la vie. You know, then there's streaming. That's like, I guess that's the biggest percentage or degree of separation. It's like streaming. So, and boy, there are not all streamers are cool or nice or whatever. You know, that's why some people don't cut the mustard and they had to go. They're just not nice, dude. They're just not nice. Sorry if I'm not reading. I don't like reading. I'm fine. Plus my eyes are just kind of shot. I mean, I need to get another prescription again. I think I'm gonna have them just skip the bifocals, because they tried to change the prism of how they reflected light through them to get the prescription to be more precise, but they couldn't make it. They couldn't make it to where the prism would line up, and so I don't get to use these bifocals because they won't point the right direction. So now they're just an obstacle. Like I'm constantly having to slide my glasses out this far so I can read all this. So that's why my glasses is up on the end of my nose, so that I'm able to see stuff well. It's proven fact that yellow equals yummy, except bananas. You don't like bananas. Fuck bananas. Bananas have a lot of nitrate or what is it? Nitrogen. I just have a lot of nitrogen, and do cause things to oxidize and decay pretty quickly. They do have some allergic effects for some people. Popped out return, quite the opposite. I have a fixation with it. That's that, and see, that's true. That's a thing. Yep, definitely tons of potassium. Yeah, it's a good carb. It's a good food-based, fruit-based carbohydrate. Somewhat complex. It's pretty sure. It's pretty, especially if they're very ripe. Pretty close to being just sugar, but yeah, the balance with that little bit of soluble fiber and potassium, man. Gotta have it. Plus that that carbohydrate and sugar that's in it sort of rides that potassium, so it digests it a little more thoroughly and goes where you need it to go. It helps feed the muscles and fight cramps, things like that. Really cool, man. It's a cool food. Because they're not easy to quit. I need to get these out of my face, man. It's so good. Oh my god. Way too yummy, dude. Fits of yumminess. We may interrupt this guitar production and jam on guitar. Beats per minute? Goodness. I don't know that I have a specific. I mean, I obviously have a favorite feel or time, but I've never put it to actual beats per minute. I'm definitely more slower is better to me, but not to drag something out, to actually give a little more space to put more syncopation within and just more feel. Time to just like groove, you know. It's kind of it's nice to have something that drives. Da 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 da. It's very cool, but even that, it needs to have a little bit of swing to it, a little more feel. It's more fun. But then again, there are certain sounds that just being almost surgical, like just a surgical eighth note, you know, is a good sound for certain things. It also lends itself to the contrast of when you start to swing and start to put feel. I do the drummer thing. Normally sit around 142. That sounds about, yeah, it definitely sounds about right. Favorite is 160, 180s. Once again, it just depends on how the subdivision of the beat to whether it be an odd time signature. If the beat does kind of swing, like it's not necessarily an odd count. It's not even an odd time signature. It just has it's just got swagger. Certain beats and feels, and that, man, it starts to get into different types of tribal feels and blues feels. Zep says that's a bunch of farts. It's like, yeah, swing this, buddy. Swing these nuts. That's Mustard Network for you right there. And I reiterate, it is what it is. I was just telling my girlfriend about, oh boy, yeah, that was a good night. To be fair though, I think I had completely forgot that I took all the noise filter or cancellation off And it's like, cause you get used to on Discord, cause it's just got that like that hard noise cancellation on there where it's just like nothing but just speech things get through, and you get sort of used to that. When you take it off, you can hear crickets in the corner, and I was not crickets in the corner. Crickets in the corner with a foghorn. Oh, those beans, dude. It was like Beans Mageddon, dude. Yes, exactly. It was not, let's just say, not covert in any way. Was not keeping that a secret. No siree. It got to the point where I would just like, they'd be talking about, hey guys, wait, listen. Like, like loud, just absolutely ripping, dude. Oh, that's greatness. And there we go. I like I say, man, I was proud of it at the time. It's good stuff, man. It's good times. Good times. Yeah. Yeah, it's like somebody like stops you, get your friends. Hey man, guess what? You're like, you're expecting him to say something, not. I had a headset on, otherwise I'd have put the mic down like nothing real low. I didn't need to, it was loud enough without a. Oh god, those beans, dude. That it would keep happening every like 15 minutes. I'd be like, okay, I'm good. I'm done with that for the night. No, 15 minutes would roll around, it's just like, oh god, man, what the hell? Yeah. Well, and you know how it's the same with these cameras. They see in the freaking dark. You know, I can't even see any detail over there at all, and it sees like all the detail of every little thing. It's the same thing with microphones. They just pick up all the wappy flappy. And I had no noise cancellation on them at all. So. Yeah, good stuff. Alright. I have this. I have this treble blade. Constructed here. And I could just go ahead and solder it in place outside of being screwed to the guitar, so that it isn't some kind of crazy obstacle later on. Oh yeah. Indeed. Oh, I was gonna say, like, keep in mind that, look, whenever you open canned beans, if you don't dump them in a colander and rinse them out, that bean juice that they put with those in the can, if those aren't rinsed off, that stuff is, all that juice is fart fuel. That stuff is some kind of strange fiber that they can with them, and that is 90% of where the farts are. You know, places that make stuff, that all that stuff just gets poured into the ingredients, and because they're just making that stuff real fast, they're not taking the time to rinse the beans off and then cook them and season them separately. So yeah, if you're getting some bean dish from some places, you're getting the yeah, rocket fuel grade. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I mean, you can stew your own beans and all that stuff, and everything's its own. Not all beans are the same either. That some have more gas than others. What was it? I had red beans and I had black beans. Like, part of it was the red beans that I made to go with my burrito bowl, because I digest red beans better, like kidney beans, and not pinto beans not as well, and black beans not, next not as well. But they were in the fridge, needed to be eaten. And so they got mixed together in I guess it was a burrito bowl that, I mean, I got pictures on the Discord. I think that's the burrito bowl that's in the pictures. I think that was that same period of time. Yeah. Yeah, it was serious. Well, and couple that with a whole bunch of whatever veggies are in it too. Damn, dude. It's like rocket fuel, man. Funny thing is that's what's good for us. That's what our systems are supposed to do. It's ridiculous levels sometimes. All right. I'm gonna wire this in the generic. Oh, I still gotta get that broken screw off of the front. I guess I should. I'll be doing some other crazy stuff. So who else? Here, we got 7 or 8 of us here. What do we want to do? Do we want to jam guitar? Or do we want to go see who's in the neighborhood? What are we doing? This whole soldering thing's gotten boring at this point. I got you. You guys are on the magnetic camera over here. Literally got that magnet stuck to one of the camera poles. It's just stuck on the side of it, so it weeble wobbles. Oh yeah. I should turn off the soldering iron. I just plug in a guitar because I wanted for a little bit, just so that we got more than one thing going on in the stream. So we have some variety. I know my amps are on because I haven't turned them off in like 4 days. doing. I'm not playing a bossa nova of Paranoid Android, basically. I didn't know I was going to do that, but that's what started happening. Oh, yeah. This is hidden. I need to mute my buddy KC's mix so that we got some just the Johnny guitar sound. And this ugly little lamp just starts to cause problems with shot. I wonder what the level of the dirty imp is. A little bit below the clean, but that's good. What sort of groove are we thinking? That's fun. be like. I think it'd be there. Oh, it's down here. Yeah, because it's right in front of the major. What would be the major? Relative major would be D. Yeah. Wild man. Don't put very long loops in, but we always like squeeze every little thing that could be had out of it. That's hilarious. How many different weird iterations can you get out of a riff? How many weird things will come out of it? There's all kind. I mean, you could just start playing. You know, like funny, man. You could just start playing. Here, man. Something kind of hearing that just flat of the root thing. Where the hell am I? It would be a really pretty melody for that. Wouldn't know what a time for that. Going crazy. We all love those pretty suspended things. Now I need to put together whole songs of that crazy stuff so that I have tracks instead of just little silly loops of things. Doodly squat, you know that's right. one chord. Just enough dirt on that with the high output that neck humbucker. It just starts to dirty it up. We'll do that with the bridge too. But I'll turn it down a lot, so it's not too much. Or if I'm singled out a little bit. It doesn't overflow too badly. Cool groove. I don't know where I'd go after that. That's what keeps happening. I keep hitting the button and I'll start playing something and I don't know where I'm going to go for the second part of the phrase. So I just like basically find out like, well, where do I go with that? I just end up with this phrase that's not very long, but it's groovy sounding. So it needs to have like kind of a turnaround, like. And that concludes our crazy production here. Got a little guitar fix. That's good. Well, you know, literally fixing some things, but also, you know, get the addictive guitar shredness. Scratch that guitar, play an itch, you know. Gotta have the jams. The jams, you guys. The jams, you guys. Sometimes you got to have the jams. Yeah, still 4 or 5 of you guys hanging out. Kind of hanging out. Checking things out. Lookity-loop. Which means, if we were to just see who popped up in the feed of feeds, Ray's playing World of Tanks. Hammer Music is playing music. Odin the Bearden is makers and crafts right now. Which makes me wonder. Let me look at my easy cheesy device over here and see just who's bopping around doing things. Zeonium's how you say it, is actually streaming music right now. He says he's in music, which means he might be, he's probably, I think he said he was going to stream his live gig, Deal Breakers. I guess that's the name of that band, just Deal Breakers. Monkey is now playing Starlight 84. Drone Hands. Morganson Life is who is a friend of mine right down the street, which I know could use the support. If you guys they're doing suburban backyard ASMR again. I guess if I dumped you guys into something, that would be a funny thing to be like, where have I gone? What's happening? It's still it'll help those guys out. I'm gonna have to get this. Yeah, it's at least in my follows, so let me set that up, because it'll help those guys to get a raid, and at least we'll be doing some good, you know. Let's support, and he'll definitely be a friend of the channel. I gotta actually start so that it'll start the process. Sure do appreciate you peeps hanging out, being so cool, watching my silliness, and I thank you for hanging out, and thank you for lurking and listening to the jams and fixing at the guitars and cussing out people who makes it hard to do. But I will see you soon. Thanks, man. I'm gonna stop streamy doodling because I'm being a streamy doodle Christmas. So awesome. Those who have been watching after the fact, watching the vlog, thank you.